Hey, good morning, folks. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update. My headline there, suddenly we're in a wet pattern. And I do want to emphasize, not a surprise to me. And if you've been watching, should not be a surprise to you. But now we're verifying it. Now we're seeing that in the future, in the next week or two, it's going to come true as to what we've been watching as an evolution of the upper air pattern change. Several disturbances. I would say let's call it 3 or 4 solid weather makers coming through in the next 7 to 10 days. First, good morning, Mynell Molesby. And Cynthia, I am not even going to try your name. Cynthia T. Let's just say good morning to you. Good morning, Grass Lake. Good morning, Sherry from Gladwin. Ed Johnson. Good morning, Waterford. All right, let's get into it. So we have a solid, fairly heavy rain shaping up for the southern third of Lower Michigan. I'll cover that in the timeline on that. You knew about that. That's this afternoon, tonight, and tomorrow. And then you'll see the systems after that. Hey, Vicky Ball, Caro, don't hear from Caro much anymore. Good morning. Okay, so if you want to get something done before the rain, you got this morning most places, and you can see the rain shaping up in Iowa. All of Iowa has rain right now. Terry DeBoer outdoor event in Grand Rapids tonight. Rain prospects very high. You'll see that here in just a second. So there's your current radar. Let's look at a couple of radar forecasts together. And I'll tell you what's going on here. Okay, so, uh, models. It's not just as simple as looking at a model. We have a lot of them. Which ones are doing best? And which ones do best in a situation? So we're going to look at the high resolution rapid refresh that should have the best radar forecast for us for the next 6 to 12 hours. Then we're going to look at what's called the NAM, the North American model. That sometimes has an even better radar forecast, at least 6 or 12 hours out to 24 hours out. So we got to pick that up through tomorrow. Then we like the European model when we get out to 3, 4, 5 days, 6 and 8 or so. So we start with the high resolution rapid refresh. What that means is that it's high resolution, and it updates every hour. So here is noon today. 1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4, 5 o'clock. And I've found that this model recently has been, how would I say it? Slow on the forecast. So it's showing Grand Rapids, the rain shows up 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon for you. I've found that it's an hour or two slow in that it would happen an hour or two earlier than that, 3, 4 o'clock or so. But this is 5 o'clock, 6, 7, 8. So it would say what I call the Tri-Cities, what we all on the east side in the Saginaw Bay City Midland area call the Tri-Cities, and Flint would show up in the early evening, and solid rain. Grand Rapids, Terry asked about Grand Rapids this evening, wet. And then 9, 10, 11, midnight. And all of the models are showing, I don't want to call it a severe line of thunderstorms, but a vigorous line with maybe isolated severe weather, severe gusts in it, developing across, Kalamazoo, Lansing to Ann Arbor, to Detroit, and into the southern part of the thumb. This is 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. Okay, so we got a rain on the way for this evening and overnight. Now we pick up the NAM, the North American model, and this one goes out farther into the future, not as high resolution. And hey, Richard Hewitt, don't worry. Portage, I know it's dry in places, and you will get a good quenching Richard Hewitt. If you don't, I'll come over and water your lawn for you. Okay. So this is the NAM, and this is 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. So it also says Grand Rapids, Muskegon, South Haven gets into it in the 3 to 5 o'clock hour. 6 o'clock, it's into Lansing. 7 o'clock, it's into Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, and Flint. And Detroit and Ann Arbor, probably waiting until between 7 and 9. It also shows that line of thunderstorms. See that line developing across the southern third of the state right there through the evening and overnight hours? That's not a great time for severe weather, or I guess I should phrase it, that's a good time to avoid severe weather. But with such a strong system at this time of the year, you can get thunderstorms that boom up a little bit and produce what you can call a mini squall line. Okay, so this is Thursday, 6 o'clock in the morning. And so the short-term models dry us out for tomorrow, and that makes sense. The long-term models keep us wet. And since these short-term models both say that, I'm going to say that Thursday is going to be a dry day. Now, total precip. We'll use the NAM, the North American model, for this. And there you see it. In the orange and red, 1 to 2 inches of rain. Blue to orange, ½ inch to 1 inch. As far north as Traverse City and maybe Oscoda again. And then, maybe there's some lack of rain at the southern border counties. This does an odd split. I don't know if that's really going to happen. But as you see, should be a fairly widespread, nice, useful rainfall. Okay, now we pick up the European to go out farther into the future. So here's our rain on the European, and notice it hangs rain in. This is Thursday afternoon and Thursday evening. It hangs rain in there, and the other models don't. I don't know about this. I don't think that's correct, but I'll keep an eye to see if the other models trend toward the European or the European goes the other way. It just doesn't seem logical. But there is another disturbance out there, and it looks like this is Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening. And again, I want to caution you, okay? I give you time frames, out in the future, pin myself down, but don't cancel anything for Saturday and Sunday just yet. Don't get panicky. It's Wednesday. We'll know more tomorrow after this storm clears. We'll know more Friday morning. In the back of your mind, if you have an outside party scheduled for Saturday or Sunday, start thinking about, should I line up a tent? Don't cancel right now yet. We're not at that point. We're just at the point where we can say there could be a batch of showers and thunder showers moving through on the weekend. When we get into this kind of pattern with multiple systems coming toward us, the timing can be off. Some of the two can merge together, slow one down, speed one up, and whatnot. So no panic yet on a party. Wait until late tomorrow or Friday morning to panic. So we might have something on Saturday. And then look at Monday. This is a cold front coming through and another shot at rainfall. And that's why my tease to you was, hey, suddenly we are on the wet side as you look out what we can get in this next 7 to 10 days. And then this is 10 days out next weekend and possible too. Again, don't panic. Timing can change. All right, let's look at the total precip off of this over the next 10 days. And what you get out of this is we could have several inches of rain across lower Michigan. All places can still use it. Some places isolated are quite wet, but most places are still in the need of a good dousing of rain. And with this kind of overall weather pattern, that is probably coming. Well, what comes with rain? A few more cloudy days, a cold front or two, somewhat cooler temperatures. So show you the temperatures just to give you a good overview. And what you should get out of this is 90 degrees in the next 10 days. Probably not going to happen. There will be probably a handful of days with highs in the 70s. So we'll have some breaks from the summer heat, and we'll have some summery days, and we'll have some days where you can go to the beach too. But you're going to have to pick it. You're going to have to watch my weather forecasts. Today, 70s. I think the low 80s on the west side of the state is probably a little bit too high, given the fact that we have the clouds and the rain coming by late afternoon and evening. Tomorrow, a low 80s, probably also a little bit high too. This is sometimes, we see this sometimes, where a model, we know something is wrong, because remember I showed you that the European model shows rain tomorrow, but the European model also shows highs in the mid 80s. One of those two is not going to happen. That's why I think that model is a little bit on the funky side right now. Friday in the 80s, Saturday in the low to mid 80s, Sunday in the, let's call it mid 80s in a lot of places. Then that cold front, which has really been showing up and I think is probably true. Monday drops us into the 70s, and then Tuesday 70s and even 60s in far northern Michigan, 70s on Wednesday, and then starting to head back toward the 80s. But again, you do not see anything that shows a 90 in the next 10 days. And that makes sense with the weather pattern that we have. All right, so get ready for a good rainfall on everything. And then get ready for some cooler temperatures. So we'll have to deal with a few cloudy days here over the next week or so. That's your weather update. We'll keep you updated here on MLive. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa.